Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of episode 6 of Little Witch Academia. Now you guys know I've been pretty damn positive in pretty much every single review of this series so far, but this is the first one where I do have a lot of things I'm positive about the episode with, but I am going, in order to give it a fair and honest review, I'm going to have to be pretty negative on quite a few key points of this episode. Oh, man, I just stuttered out of nowhere. But either way, I really did enjoy about one scene of the episode, and then there was a lot of really crappy stuff. But either way, let's go through it part by part, because I can't just say, ooh, this was bad, without giving you some explanation. So either way, starting from the beginning, we have a transforming spell class, and we find out that we're having a welcoming party here at the school for the Earl of Hanbridge, who is apparently the, like the prime minister, kind of where they live. It's sort of that kind of role, like a government leader sort of role of their area where the school is. And also, he's supposedly bringing his really attractive son. So then, the funniest scene at the banquet for them is Lotte and Susie eating. Akko at the time, though, is forced to go practice magic in her room because she sucked at it. Now, I will go ahead and address a complaint I've actually seen from other people that I finally got this episode, and I'm like, yeah, I can see where they're coming from 100%. There were some people that have said, you know, Akko might not be that bad at magic. It may just be that Luna Nova, to be this big, prestigious, old witch school, may kind of just suck at teaching. I mean, just for this episode, I'll use it as an example. If somebody doesn't know this spell, you say you can't leave your room until you learn it. That doesn't seem like very good teaching now, does it? That doesn't seem like very good teaching at all. And they're constantly punishing Akko and friends with punishments that seem a bit too severe for their crimes in a lot of the cases. And the punishments aren't always constructive either. So there's a lot of stuff going on where I'm like, you know, maybe Luna Nova just isn't very good at teaching. Because I could kind of see that. I could kind of see it this episode. So then we have the rich kids coming in looking like your generic space yaoi guys. You know how there's, like in every space-themed anime, almost every one, there are these rich, fancy, posh-looking guys with the weird hair that are always, they always have this very, very odd yaoi vibe going on. That was them. They're generic space yaoi guys. The one of them likes Diana, apparently, and the other knows Diana from childhood, apparently. We get to meet Andrew, the supposed, what was he, the handsome son of the Earl of Hanbridge, the Viscount or whatever, and he is a, pardon my French here, spoiled little cunt. He is an asshat. Like, he is one of those people that is like, I have money, and money equals accomplishment. So that's his entire character, is I have money, that equals me having accomplished something ever before in life. So yeah, then we get to see Akko transformed partially rabbit. Rabbit boys for Akko. It's been a while since we've said rabbit boys here on the channel, but rabbit boys for life. And she is trying to go sneak into this weird divining well, like the Fountain of Polaris or something like that, that's supposed to grant her some divine power of the stars or something, that she saw from one of her cards, of course. So then the ass nugget himself catches her trying to sneak there, and one thing I will bring up that I was thinking through this whole conversation, or at the beginning of the conversation at least, I was thinking, forced anime romance is tiresome. It is just so dull to watch. And the conversation between them was long as hell and dull. And you guys know I've said in reviews recently, I like when we have different things going on. Even if it's the same characters, they're doing different things. Conversations can go on for too long. Scenes can go on for too long. That was this scene. It went on way too long. It was just boring. It was just so boring. And then Andrew continues to just be a spoiled little smug bitch to her. And yeah, then she transforms him partially donkey, and he is indeed an ass. So, yeah, it was about appropriate. Then Ursula goes looking for Akko and finds the cards. Akko and Andrew also arrive at the fountain, or rather, the fountain area. Then this giant polar bear shows up, and it has really, really nice animation. It looked really good here. Especially when they were running from it, jumping up that little archway kind of thing or whatever. It looked really nice. Ursula comes in for the save. Of course, we get a little bit of hints there with that red hair. And Akko finally gets to the Big Dipper Arch. And at the arch, she sees Chariot in the fountain, and we see how Chariot was turned away and learned on her own how to help others, even while making a bunch of mistakes. And the animation was awesome. The OST was beautiful. The scene itself was absolutely beautiful. It made me feel so much. And then that was pretty much the end of the episode. We just see Andrew leaving, and he's like, maybe magic's okay. After all that. So very little character development to make it worth having to sit through an episode of him being forced into a semi-romantic scene. Yeah, it was just, man. The fountain scene was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was beautiful, possibly my favorite scene in the whole show so far. But the entire Andrew character was pointless and shit. They could have had this entire episode, Akko just sneaking out on a random normal night when she was confined to her room without having Andrew introduced at all. The character was totally pointless. It wasn't necessary at all. Because even the things that went on with her being saved and everything, he didn't learn any lessons from her that are immediate right now that we saw. She learned no lessons from him. Diana learned no lessons from him pretty much. We just knew that they knew each other as kids and that he didn't like magic. He was very, very pointless. Ursula was the one that saved them. He did nothing in the episode except make it worse and boring. So the first half of the episode, or the first a little bit more than half, was almost entirely a waste of an episode that they could have done other things. And here is something I want to get honest about with the show as a whole. The first episode was completely amazing. I gave it a review that it was completely amazing. And the other episodes have been good, and I've given them mostly positive reviews. But here's the thing. Every week, even though there is stuff to be positive about, compared to the first episode, compared to the movies, compared to what the show could be based on what we've seen, we've gotten very little central story. And overall, it's been good, but disappointing compared to what it could be. But this was the first week where it went from more than disappointing to having actually bad scenes that just weren't good. Akko, though, everybody's been complaining every week, no matter how much development in the episode or how much Akko changes in the episode, she doesn't have development. Well, Akko had a shit ton of development. She literally sat in her room for a while in a bunch of scenes just trying spells. So, yeah, I think that she got plenty of development. If you still don't think she has enough development for this far in the story, then I don't even know what you're doing. Also, you'd think that after Kiesniver, that Trigger would have been taught how badly written attempts at romance can just shit all over a story, because Kiesniver had great things going, but every time it focused on romance, everybody hated the episode, including me, and everybody gave it bad reviews and stuff. Whenever they focused on pointless romance or just shoehorned in romance that didn't fit with things. And I really don't want you guys to think that I'm just hating because there was romance or anything, because there are plenty of romances like Mikakunen de Shinkoe I gave a great review to. It was a great romance. The same is true. One of my favorite anime became Yurikuma Arashi, and I went into it thinking I was going to hate it, but I was blown away by how great the romance was. So there is good romance, and then there is Kiesniver, which had bad romance, but it had good other things. And this episode, it wasn't really romance, but it had a few attempts in there that were just so heavy-handed and just shitty anime romance. So yeah, if I was going to score this, the chariot scene, the scene with the fountain, I'd give that a 9.5 out of 10 just on its own. If that was just the entire episode, it was a 5-minute episode, 9.5 out of 10. That scene was beautiful. for this episode as a whole, including that scene, it's my first review that I'm giving a below average score to, 4 out of 10. Just because so much of the episode was pointless and unnecessary. But either way, like I said, I had to get negative there for a bit to give an honest review because there was some stuff that honestly was not good. But either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like the video. Comment, even if you disagree, of course. Comment down there, tell me what you thought, because you can totally disagree or maybe have seen it a different way than I. So yeah, comment down there whatever you thought of this, and what you thought of my thoughts on it, what you thought of the episode, you know, whatever. Subscribe for more anime and more, lots of anime and lots of other things going on the channel right now. Very busy week for me. Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. That is it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.